What most people know about Congo is that there have been a raging war there, which most of the time is incorrectly labeled as a civil war, though it's a foreign invasion because of minerals. Now, today, as I'm making this video, there are more than 7 million people living in internally displaced persons camp or refugee camps inside Congo near the city of Goma. The reason why they were displaced is because since 2022 in June, Rwanda started sending their troops across the border through Virunga National Park to go and try to capture territories that contain minerals. And it's this mineral, particularly coltan or tantalum, that has led to all this. And as I am making this video, I also want to tell you that this situation is about to get worse, really worse. Now, on this website, this is the European Union website, and after what happened in Ukraine, all European countries, or rather the EU countries, have cut off any economic links with Russia, and they are planning to do the same with China. And they have realized that if they do that with China, they're going to cut themselves from critical supply chain of very critical minerals that they use to make components like solar panel and electric vehicle batteries. So they've signed an MOU, that is a memorandum of understanding, with Rwanda to ensure that Rwanda continues supplying them with these very rare minerals that can only be found in few countries in the world. One of them, not Rwanda, definitely. One of them being Congo. So they are basically asking Rwanda to continue sending troops to Congo to steal minerals so that the EU can be able to plug the hole left by them isolating themselves from Russia and China. So let me basically make it easy for you. This is Rwanda and this is Congo. This is a Google map, right? You can do that yourself and find it. Rwanda is a very poor country, really poor. They have nothing. As a matter of fact, the more than 14 million Rwandans who live in Rwanda, they barely get 2 meals a day, and these are fact. And if you look at, ignoring the social media posts that Rwanda always shows that they have the cleanest cities, that they have the fastest growing economies, all those are data that have been faked and cooked. As a matter of fact, Rwanda recently had a census, and they reported that they have a life expectancy in Rwanda of more than 80 years. So they are saying most people in Rwanda are getting to the age of 80. That's a lie. I mean, it's definitely a lie, right? Now, if you look at the latest updated Human Development Index, and as you know, the HDI is the best way, especially to be able to compare African countries and their development. The only way you can tell whether an African country is doing the right thing. And HDI basically looks at quality of life from the day a person is born to the time they leave this world, whether they are going to get good medical care, good education, things like literacy level, getting jobs after school, and living a healthy life up to the age, life expectancy of 80. Which Rwanda doesn't have. And if you look at now the table, you look, Seychelles leads in Africa on HDI, and they are 67th in the world, but in Africa they are number 1. And you look at other countries, the data makes sense. These are countries that even as Africans we know they are doing well. Mauritius, Libya, Algeria, that's how they do. They follow each other. Now then, after having Seychelles among the very high, we have the others high human development, and we have medium human development. This is where most of the African countries fall. But then we have low human development, and these are places where you have Somalia with what is going on there, and then you have South Sudan, you know what's happening there. You have countries like Burundi, right? You have Congo, the country that has been plagued by this war for more than 20-30 years. And then you still have Rwanda. Now, so Rwanda is there among the low human development countries, and this means everything you know about Rwanda is actually not true. They just put it up there for videos and film and videos and social media. The reality is Rwanda is ready to do anything to earn a living, including sending all their troops to a neighboring country to steal their minerals. That's what they are doing. So the army is a mercenary army for the Europeans. Now, going back to the story, and this is the image when they were signing the MOU, which was signed this year, not long ago. And the MOU, basically, I'm going to tell you what it entails. So it was about critical minerals. And for a mineral to be called critical, it has to be essential for economic or strategic reasons. The other thing, it also has to show that there's a risk of supply chain disruption. And that's what they were talking about in their agreement here, talking about supply chain, right? And essential means that European countries cannot produce this mineral which they really need, and without this mineral there are no other known substitute within Europe. So it is very critical, and its critical mineral are needed to develop a net zero industry. That's what they were saying, that they are trying to move to what they are calling the green energy, right? Al Jazeera actually put it well here. They say that as the green revolution revs up, the European Union has signed a deal with Rwanda that will ensure a supply of minerals, precious minerals needed to build clean tech like solar panels and electric vehicles. So Europe wants to basically meet their environmental, goals, but the minerals that they need to do this is found in a country that they need to create a war, displace people, kill more people to get it. Now, one of those minerals, I'm going to give you examples as of these minerals we are talking. So there are 6 of the most needed critical minerals in Europe. One of them is copper. It's an excellent conductor of electricity, and it is used in almost every electric thing, everything. And China today, or rather Chile, not China, Chile is a country in Southern America, contains 28% of global reserve of this copper. Peru has 12% of this copper, and China has 8%, and definitely Zambia has about another 8%. So they feel that China controls what gets out of Zambia and Chile, and they also owns the mines in Peru. So it's like China controls copper market or copper reserve in the world. Another key mineral is nickel. Nickel is used in hundreds of thousands of products, and Indonesia holds 33% of the reserves. And recently Indonesia has refused to export unprocessed and refined nickel from their country. So that is kind of disrupting the supply chain. And then we have Philippines and Russia having 12% each. So again, Russia is not part of the source that EU wants to get their nickel. The third mineral is cobalt. This is the most important mineral that has led to the EU signing an MOU, a memorandum of understanding with Rwanda because of cobalt. Does Rwanda have a single mine with cobalt? The answer is no. Rwanda doesn't have mines that extract cobalt, but the EU is of a different opinion. They believe that Rwanda can supply them with cobalt because Rwanda will get cobalt from Congo. So today the war is all about coltan, but there's another war that is going to come because of cobalt, because cobalt is needed, and the European needs assurance that supply chain is not going to be disrupted. They're going to get the same quantity, the same price, in the same manner that they are assured they are going to get it. And the country that will deliver this is not Congo, where you find cobalt. It's not Zimbabwe, where you find the second largest deposit of cobalt. It's not Russia, where you find the third largest deposit of cobalt. And it's not China, which is the largest processor of cobalt. They don't have cobalt, but they mine cobalt in Congo, they mine cobalt in Zimbabwe, and definitely they're buying the cobalt from Russia. So China holds almost all the cobalt in the world. The EU is scared that if they go to war because of Taiwan, they are not going to get the Chinese cobalt. So instead, they want Rwanda to go to Congo and steal cobalt for them. And doing that, they're going to kill more people in Congo. They're going to displace more people in Congo. In return, they're going to pay Rwanda a lot of money. They're going to arm Rwanda's army. So Rwanda is going to have probably the largest army in the region to invade the largest country in the region. So it's a war. Just look at how absurd this is. The tiniest country in Africa, the tiniest country in the whole of East Africa, is going to have the largest army so that it can invade the largest country in sub-Saharan Africa because of the minerals that the white people need. And a lot of you do not know this, but it's all over the place. Media houses are writing more about it. This was earlier this month. It was written. You can read the article, 2nd of May. Same with the EU publishing the same on the same date about their cooperation with Rwanda to supply them with cobalt. And go and research and find out whether Rwanda has cobalt. They don't.